Hello everybody and welcome to SimFly News. This is Roberto, SimFly spokesperson, and I bring you the news on SimFly every week with the details of what we're working on, what's the progress, how things are, what complaint we receive, and so on. So, talking about complaints, we had so many complaints about the Sky Sentinel that we decided to remove it. We know that some users prefer the Sky Sentinel and other hated Sky Sentinel, so we want to work better on this thing and explain to you better our choices and what are the changes. So when it comes to how much packs you make, it doesn't change much. As I told you the other week, for example, if you take a 3-hour flight done now, a 3-hour flight done before, it pretty much is the same amount of packs that you make. What is the point, but it is not a difference because it was identical to that also before, is that if you do 3-hour flight or 1 9-hour flight, obviously you make more packs with the 3-hour flight. But obviously, because the complexity of landing 3 times is way more than the complexity of landing 1 time. I mean, like in the real life, a pilot that does several short flights are, rewarded, paid more than people that does a long flight. Okay, meaning that one single flight of 3 hours obviously get less than a long flight of 9 hours, but 3 flights of 3 hours get more of 1 flight of 1 hour. Okay, so about the Sky Sentinel, as some of you loved it a lot, we are working on a new logic to reintegrate it in the best way so that everybody can fly happy, and if you don't answer to the question, ignore, you can disable it. It's not gonna cancel your mission. Okay, so wait, this is gonna happen after we finish with several other things that we're working on. Okay, so what we want to remind you is that SimFly is following its own roadmap with clear ideas, but for us it's very important to listen to you guys. You are the community, and many times I told you in the past, you are SimFly. Okay, so we're gonna try to steer or change or adjust what we implement based on the feedback that we get from you. So keep giving us feedback, constructive feedback, because just an insult doesn't help. Okay, we love praises, but even praises, if they contain constructive elements, is very good for us, so we understand what is the take of most of you using SimFly on a daily basis. Okay, now we are very close to activation of airport. We're just doing the last test, and soon you will be able to activate airport. So those of you that purchase an airport, those of you that are gonna purchase it now, because as soon as we set the activation of the airport, the price are gonna go up. You're gonna be able to make profit from the use of your airport. You can start earning packs based on how many people land on your airport, and all the information on how this is going to work we're gonna explain to you before the launch of the activation. So in the next weeks, pay attention. We aim to do all this before the year ends, as we promised. Okay, and other things that we got feedback, people were annoyed about all the demo airplane are gone. Now when you access the map by default, or the first time you access it, is going to show also VATSIM and IVAO airplanes. You can, if you go on the setting of the map, disable VATSIM or IVAO, or even disable SimFly planes and only see IVAO airplanes if you want. Now, a problem that we had in the past is that there was no way to remember long term the settings that you are done. So coming back, you wanna all the time seeing again the demo airplane. But now the settings will be remembered long term. So unless you clear the cache of your browser and the cookies and everything's, practically every time you come back, the setting that you have saved are gonna be still the setting that are there for the map. Okay. One more thing we did, we automated the logic of how airplanes are recognized, and now we should be much better in recognizing airplanes that you are using in the simulator. You know that when you start a mission, the selection of the airplane is automated, but there were mistakes as we were thinking airplane was one but was another for some models and some flight simulators. For example, with X-Plane 11 and 12, there was an issue with some other airplane. Now, as a different simulator communicates in a different way which is the airplane that's been selected, we should have made it better. Also, one concern the X-Plane and all the others. So you should be having no more trouble in the automatic recognition of the airplane. But if you do have issue, please let us know so that we can go and do further fixing to this problem. Okay, sometimes it happens with particular special edition airplane or particular airplane that is we need to synchronize in the correct way in order for them to be recognized properly. So you will not need to change the liveries names in order to make them recognized. If you have issues, write to support, and support, not ask me anything, they ask me anything, something else, support, and you're gonna be addressed with your problem. Talking about Ask Me Anything, now we move to the Ask Me Anything section. So the first question, which has been asked by long question, by Explain Español, the 10th of December 2024, with 6 votes, is this: is the landing system going to be reviewed? In Explain is given an 81 as a score, and it's about time to have it operational, right? In FS, which I guess is a Microsoft Flight Simulator, and I imagine when it is activated in Explain, the scoring system is not realistic at all. A perfect landing is considered when you land at 0 feet per minute, and 0 feet per minute is impossible to land physically. This is wrong, Explain Español. I'm gonna explain you why. It should have a margin depending on the plane. Example, blah blah blah, 0, 100, 100, 200, etc, etc. Likewise, the landing score weighs down the packs a lot. No, really. It cannot be that you make a perfect flight of 100-100 of 2 hours and then landing badly lose almost half of the packs. Today it's almost better to fly in X-plane because you know that a bad landing will not penalize you, something that should not be the case. It is planned to be improved sooner rather than later. Thank you very much. So, that's my answer, Explain Español. We are next to the release of the new version of the client that is going to introduce the calculation for landing rate also on Explain and Prepare 3D. So, one more thing that you say is we don't look at the landing rate on its own. There are conditions. You think to the real thing, the real deal. If you have a lateral wind or is raining, the landing has to be a little bit more harder because else the wheels are not gonna have grip and you risk to get out of the runway. So we look at many aspects in the landing. The landing rate is one variable that matches many other variables to give an evaluation of somebody's landing. So maybe if you do a 0.0001 in a perfect weather condition with no side winds, is good. But if you have side winds, it's raining, and you're landing with 0.001 feet per minute, that's is a penalty. It's not good. If you have an airplane compared to another, there are a lot of variables that go to evaluate the the score of the landing rate. And landing is one of the most beautiful, exciting, but at the same time complicated part of the flight, as in reality, this is why it has a serious impact on the total score of your flight. Can you imagine you're taking an airplane to go to London, takes off okay, the flight is okay because there is no turbulence, but the landings, bam, my god, is terrible. People don't say, oh bad, but the takeoff and the flight was okay, we're not upset with the pilot anymore. Now the truth is the most crucial part of the flight is the landing, so it is very important that this is done in the best way as possible. And so this is what has a lot of value in the score of the full flight. Anyways, this is how it goes, but really soon, also X-Plane and Prepare 3D are going to participate in the aspect of the landing. Okay. Second question. This has been asked by Marius Maximus. I remember this name. The 8th of December 2024 has 5 votes. The question says, can you go into more depth about virtual airlines? Will SimFly support creating our own inside the system? Will it allow us to post a flight mission? We'll be able to post flights to everybody. For example, if some of my planes were rented by others and moved to different airports, can I set up a mission to have other people to fly them back? Well, you do your airline just to accommodate your airplanes. Would they be able to set up payments? Will the person flying it get their payout according to the rental breakdown for flying my plane? And could I add part of my earning as a bonus payment? I would definitely prefer to go that route versus just paying SimFly to move it, as there will be some income generated for me and the pilot, and my plane airport will get experience points. Yeah, but that's absolutely correct. I would like to suggest is the virtual airlines are part of the roadmap of SimFly. Obviously, we need to complete many other things before working on that. I would say that we have also the academy that is in construction. So you will have the fact that users that go through the academy have a certain value. You can put posts in order to hire your pilots. Yes, you can ask your pilots to fly, put it as part of your scheduled flights so that you can move airplanes back. That's absolutely something you can do. And there will be a lot of other very interesting rules. We are not yet finished designing the virtual airline. Probably when we do that, we're gonna consult a lot of you with insight and see what you guys prefer or not. From having the airline to make all the income and pay the pilot separately, from having pilots sharing income. There are a lot of methods and possibilities, but yes, this is something that's gonna arrive in a while. Okay, think end of 2025, because I see several other things that are in a queue. But yeah, I hope this answer your question. I think that it's gonna be very exciting nonetheless. Then next question is being asked by Gianni Romanizio as 5 votes, asked the 14th of December 2024. Gianni says, since I'm convinced that it was better to fly with the Sentinel settings, the Sky Sentinel, especially regarding aircraft earning, I wonder if it would be possible to give everyone the freedom to choose. For example, a button could be added to the client or the mission to enable or disable the Sentinel mode. In this way, those who prefer can continue flying as before, while those who don't can turn it off, activate autopilot, and rest, accepting the trade-off of earning less. That way, everybody will be satisfied. Gianni, as I said at the beginning of this video, we are going to do something very similar. We are studying particular logics. Obviously, people would choose not to have the Sky Sentinel. For sure, are going to have a certain penalty for staying in long term compared to those that will be able to answer the Sky Sentinel. but this is something that is gonna come in a little while because we are after all the other things that we're doing. But yes, your suggestion is exactly similar to what we are planning to do. And now for question and last question, which is being asked by Dadius Maximus again, and as for votes, December 8, 2024, and it asks, will different mission types pay out differently? For example, will scheduled flight be worth more than a restricted flight mission? If so, do you know by how much? It's hinted that there is a good reward for completing a tour. Is that a PAX bonus for finishing all the tour flight, or is something else? Dadius Maximus, thank you for your question. Yes, different mission types pay differently. Usually they are not in order that more you go ahead with missions and more they pay. They are just difference in the different mission. Also because there could be missions that require your license to be a certain grade minimum to participate. They're gonna be different kind of missions. So yes, each mission pay differently. I cannot tell you by how much because there is no comparison between one and another, but each one has its own different payout. And each mission has a certain requirement for the payout. So you say completing a tour, there is a bonus. This is only related to the single mission. I guess the mission are in their explanation, writing exactly what are the conditions and the payout. And if not in the mission, you will find this in the wiki, I guess. So yes, different mission pay differently, and you know, you're gonna need to wait the mission as released and discover how much they pay. Now, thank you for your question again. I hope this answered your question. And we are arrived at the end. So, what can I tell you guys? Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's just a second. Press the button to subscribe, press the little bell. We do not buy fake subscribers, so each person registering to our channel is somebody that found it interesting enough to subscribe. And if you want to help, and there are, you know, family members that maybe sometimes are interested in see what you're doing with your flight simulator, and they want to register as well into the channel of SimFly, ask them to do so. It helps us, it helps yourself too, because more SimFly grows, more we have users, more users we have, better everything works. We are also in other social media. We are in X, which X Twitter, we are in Facebook, we are even between all the people with the tie and jacket in the LinkedIn network. There is actually some movement there. So you can follow us also in LinkedIn. If you like the small dance, maybe one day I'm gonna publish me doing the TikTok dance in a SimFly TikTok account and in also Instagram account. So we are everywhere. Give us 10 minutes of your time, search SimFly around the various social media and follow us and share some of our content as well. Why not? Now, thank you for watching the video until the end. And as I always say, SimFly, take off and get more PAX.